It's the first episode, Fight Talk Central. My name is Enrique.
I'm Anthony.
And basically what this podcast is going to be, we're going to be talking about all sorts of combat sports. It's going to be UFC, boxing, influencer boxing. Yeah, we're just going to
Any
talk.
Sort of combat you can think of, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why we're called Fight Talk Central. The central base of fighting.
Exactly.
And talking.
And talking? No, so basically we're just going to talk about everything that's going on now. We're going to give our predictions. We're no experts. Let's put that out there. We're not experts.
We're not big. We're big time into fighting, but we're no experts, you know.
Yeah.
We'll bring people on the podcast who will probably know more than us.
Exactly. So let's get started. So we're going to start with UFC. UFC 279. What did you think?
This is the Diaz versus Ferguson. You know, overall I thought it was pretty good. Who was actually on that card? We got Diaz, Ferguson, 279. That's what it is. All right. So we had Khamzat Chimaev and Kevin Holland. Lee, what was this guy's nickname? Do you remember? Li Jingliang?
It was a leech.
The Leech. Yeah, the Leech versus Daniel Rodriguez. I actually didn't think Daniel Rodriguez actually won this fight. I thought the Leech won. I thought Leech won.
I thought Leech won too. I'm not gonna lie. But I see why they said Daniel. His jab was all over. His jab was good. It was a really good jab. But before we start with let's start with what the initial matchups were supposed to be. You know, the whole press conference.
The press conference.
That was
me and him were texting all day.
Yeah.
That what was going on, and I think you were the first one. You were the first guy to text me.
Yeah.
You were the first
one
to start it.
Yo, they just canceled this.
Yeah, and I'm looking all over the internet, and there's barely anything. But then you just see Khamzat and Kevin Holland They just go at it.
And then Khamzat misses weight by 8 pounds.
Yeah.
But I gotta tell you this though. I think that was a huge marketing scheme.
I think that was too. I think he was trying to prove that he can beat anyone within the 170, 185 pound division. I think it was
more planned because everybody's, for the longest time, two people in the same division, two top dogs, Nate Diaz and Tobin Ferguson. How are you gonna have them on the same card? And
honestly, that's like a grudge match.
That is.
If you think about it. Have you ever watched that movie Grudge Match with Sylvester Stallone? I forget the other guy.
I've heard of it, but I've never watched it.
It was almost like that, except Nate Diaz wins by submission.
That was insane.
He had a really good guillotine. I didn't think it was locked, but I think did he get it locked?
I think Nate Diaz is one of the most underrated grapplers in the UFC.
I 100% agree. His grappling is so good.
Yeah,
his boxing, his grappling.
He's like third in the all-time submissions in the UFC. He has 10. And the leader is the GOAT, Charles Oliveira. He has 16. Yeah. All right, so let's go through the night. Leech versus Daniel Rodriguez. What do you think?
Leech versus Daniel Rodriguez. I was on and off. I was doing a couple of things, but I honestly thought he was winning the fight most of the time.
I think Leech's pace was insane.
His pace is unreal.
His pace was insane.
I forgot that he faced Khamzat.
He's the guy that Khamzat picked up and started yelling at Dana White with.
Yeah, I remember that fight. I didn't get to watch the Irene Aldana and Johnny Walker. I did hear Johnny Walker did get kicked out of the arena.
I did see that.
I was trying to look for why that happened, but that didn't.
So I found out. First off, Johnny Walker coming off that KO.
It was a good win.
Where he got. You remember that where he got punched and he went crazy?
Yeah. Who did that
was?
To?
Oh my God, I forgot who it was. Look it up.
But I remember.
But Johnny Walker, what a comeback! It was good to see. I wanted to see Johnny Walker come back.
I do like Johnny Walker.
Yeah, and he was the underdog. He was the underdog in that fight.
Jamal Hill is nasty.
That guy's nasty.
Yeah.
But so apparently if you're a fighter in the UFC, Dana White, listen up here, you need to have a ticket to the event to stay in the event, apparently, even if you're fighting on the card. That's what I read. Yeah, I read that somewhere. I don't know if it's true.
Did the other fighters?
No, because I think they had tickets.
Are you serious?
I didn't know that was a thing. I mean, that's what I read. I'm not sure if it's real or not, obviously. Don't quote me. But yeah.
No, I saw the highlights with Johnny Walker and this guy usually screams in people's faces at weigh-ins. I don't think we saw it today. The guy that Johnny Walker faced, Ion.
Kudalaba.
Yeah.
He was. No,
Johnny Walker had an impressive win. Rear naked choke. That was crazy.
Pulled the book out of Charles Oliveira right there.
Yeah. Did you see he was working with Conor McGregor's coach?
Was he really?
Johnny
Walker?
Yeah. That was his coach. I didn't even know that was his coach.
For real?
Yeah.
Connor's coach,
John Kavanagh.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
Well, did you watch this fight, Irene Aldana versus Macy?
I think I watched
That was Did you see that finish?
I think I do remember watching the finish.
It was a leg kick from the floor to the liver.
Oh yes.
Shut her down. That was insane.
I can't believe it. I didn't think I'd ever see anything like that.
That was insane. No, I wasn't expecting it. I think it was one of the most impressive finishes I've ever seen live. I thought she got injured. I didn't think she kicked the liver.
No,
that was insane.
It's shots like that are the most surprising shots. You'll see it in boxing all the time too. The liver shot drops someone.
But a leg kick from the floor.
On
the last round too, and it was 3 rounds I think, and it was 1 round to 1 round. So they both had one. So it was a decisive round.
Yeah.
And she came and kicked her right in the liver, shut her down. She was on the floor crying almost. Mm-hmm. That was insane. We already talked about Leach and Daniel.
Kamzat and Kevin Holland.
Kamzat Chimaev's a pit bull, bro.
Yeah.
That guy
you know what? I don't think he can make 170.
I think his division would be one division up. I got 180, 185.
185. I think 185 is a perfect weight for him. He did look really good.
I think I want to see him fight Colby Covington so bad.
That would be a great match for the both of them. I think Colby Covington would come out on top.
Me too. Colby's his stamina's on
his pace. He also can wrestle. I don't think I've seen Chimaev face a wrestler yet in the UFC.
Yeah, I don't think so either. But he's a wrestler and he's really good at it.
And I think he needs some more competition before he faces Kamaru Usman.
Yeah.
Or Colby. He did beat Gilbert Burns.
Yeah.
That really does say something because Gilbert Burns is a very tough guy to beat.
Animal. But that fight was amazing. Fight of the year candidate.
I feel like that fight needs to be fight of the year. I think that beats Gaethje. I can't even talk. Justin Gaethje and Chandler. Yeah.
That was a really good fight too.
Gaethje.
But I think, first of all, respect to Kevin Holland.
Oh yeah.
To take Kamzat Chimaev, people that are avoiding Kamzat Chimaev, he took out 24 hours notice.
Yeah.
That's insane to me.
I feel like it would have been a better fight if they would have had a whole
training
camp around
exactly.
it.
Yeah. I think so too. And I think Kevin Holland, he loses no respect from it. I think he's still one of the top guys.
I don't think that affects Kevin Holland, that fight.
No, me either.
Did you see that it was they just started and he was going for the tap gloves.
The fake glove tap. Yeah, I did see that.
I didn't see that in the beginning of the fight, but now that everyone's saying it, I kind of see it.
I do see it too. But I think, look, man, this is a sport of you got to be ready at all times.
You really do. When I'm training, when I first started training, one of my coaches, he was like, screw the hand tap. As soon as you're in there, it's a fight. There's no being nice, respectful, or anything. It's a fight.
I think so too. I think that.
I agree.
I think either way, even if he would have tapped gloves, that Kamzat Chimaev would have still ended up winning that fight. Yeah. As much, and to be honest, bro,
it would have been nice to see Kevin Holland win, but all of us knew Chimaev was winning that fight.
I think Kamzat Chimaev's next fight, either Covington or he said he wouldn't, but I really need to see him fight Robert Whittaker, bro.
Really?
I would love to see him fight Robert Whittaker. I think Whittaker.
Didn't he want to train with Whittaker?
That's what he said, but I want to see them fight.
I want to see him versus Paulo Costa.
Oh, yeah, because they were beefing.
You want to face another guy who beefs? There you go. You got Paulo Costa. I really wish Yoel Romero was still in here. Still in the UFC, but he's in Bellator now.
Did he really?
Yeah.
He went to Bellator?
Yep.
I didn't see that.
I think he's got a fight coming up soon. Or he may have already fought. I'm not sure.
But, all right. Time for my opinion, one of the most fun fights I've ever watched in my life.
Nate Diaz versus Ferguson. What a dog fight.
It was, but I think Tony Ferguson respected Nate Diaz too much in that fight.
Yeah. I think Ferguson kind of pulled a McGregor if you think about it. Because he was almost a nice guy this press conference and everything. And beforehand, he was a dick.
I think Tony Ferguson's time is done.
I think it is too. I think it's time for him to retire.
Yeah. I don't want to be
He's a great fighter. He was one of the best fighters. He got a title, didn't he?
No,
in the interim.
I think he might have won an interim, but I don't think he won I don't think he was ever champion.
I think he's one of the best fighters
of all time. Grace the octagon.
Yeah, I think you could count him in as top 10.
Yeah.
He's done a lot for the sport. It sucks to see him lose. Honestly, I would like to see him win a fight before he leaves.
Me too.
But him this old and him being
he doesn't
facing this tough of competition.
Yeah.
Man, the total strikes, Nate Diaz lands 101. Tony Ferguson only landed 80.
I think that goes to show more about Nate Diaz is really that dog.
He really is.
I
think Chimaev, he would have bought the dog out of Chimaev.
I think he would have. But I think Nate Diaz should be happy he didn't fight Khamzat Chimaev.
I think so too.
I think it would have been the same result as Kevin Holland.
You think? But, no, I think it would have gone in the third round. Maybe even decision.
Maybe not first round, but I think Nate Diaz would have ended up losing some way or somehow. But Nate Diaz, what do you think after? He said he wanted to go box or do jiu-jitsu or wrestle.
I think he's going to want to face Jake Paul.
I think he wants to face Jake Paul too. But I think Jake Paul wins that fight.
You think Jake Paul beats Nate Diaz?
In a pure boxing match?
If he could stop Nate Diaz's 1-2, because Nate Diaz has really good boxing.
Yeah.
If he could stop that 1-2, he's golden.
But I think Nate Diaz needs to just take a little break for now. But I want to see him. I think Nate Diaz, the thing I want to see most from him is finish the trilogy with Conor.
Everyone wants that.
Everybody wants that trilogy with
Everyone
Conor.
wants it.
Conor, Nate, sign it right now. We all want to see it. Like just a one-fight deal with the UFC for Nate Diaz. Just one more.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen. I really don't think it's going to happen. You see it everywhere. Everyone's always talking about it, and Conor and him always go back and forth about it. But
yeah, I don't think
every time the UFC has a chance to do it, they just never do. And then there's always.
I mean, look at it this way: the only way Nate Diaz and Tony Ferguson happened was because of a weight miss. They missed weight.
Yeah.
They might have been planned. They might have not, but that's the only way it happened. So yeah, that's my opinion on it. All right, so let's move on. Predictions: UFC 280.
That's O'Malley, Sterling.
Yeah.
Oliveira. Okay. So I actually used to train where Jan used to train. He trained out of ATT. I don't know if he still trains there. It'd be funny to see O'Malley train or to see him win, but I think Jan's gonna take that dub. I think you just have O'Malley hasn't really faced a really high level guy. I think it's a huge jump for Sean O'Malley. Mm-hmm. And it's respectable because Peter Yan is an animal. Although O'Malley does have a huge height difference on him. Yeah, if he could use his he needs to use his length. But I want to say O'Malley's going to win. I think we're all underestimating Sean O'Malley. I mean, he is training hard. I think the Sugar Show's got it. I think he's the underdog in that fight, though. Does Jan have a wrestling base? Does he? I don't know. I wouldn't think so. Because he's a striker. Striker, yeah. Yeah, so striker versus striker, which is, I mean, his wrestling is good. That's why I ask. Yeah. If O'Malley can keep him at distance with the jab and can pick his shots properly and not mess around, I think this is a fight where O'Malley cannot mess around. And if O'Malley messes around, he's going to get clipped and knocked out. Yeah. Jan has power. That little mask. No, I've never seen O'Malley. I haven't seen O'Malley with a wrestler yet. Jan does have some good wrestling. I know against Sterling it wasn't the best. But if O'Malley takes that, that's big. Yeah. Do you think he takes that game plan this time? Do you think they go pure boxing match? Because they're both strikers. I think it's going to be a straight up. Or do you think... I think it's going to be a straight up kickboxing match. Do you think so? I think so too. I think it's going to be that kind of stuff. I think this fight can either go 5 rounds or just knock out within 3 rounds. Yeah. I don't see it going to decision, to be honest. For O'Malley to win this, I think it needs to go to decision. You think so? It's a 5-round fight too, right? Maybe. I'm not sure about that. But if it is 5 rounds, then Jan, I think, has more of a gas tank on him. But UFC 280's lineup is insane right now. Oliveira, yeah. All right, so let's go up. All right, Sterling versus Dillashaw. Dillashaw's the streak breaker. I like Dillashaw. I like Dillashaw. I think he takes the win. I also do like Aljamain Sterling's style. I think his striking's really weak, though. Yeah, I think Dillashaw is going to take this one. I think he takes this within 4 rounds. Yeah, I mean, we can never count on Sterling. We all thought Jan had him for sure. Yeah. And Sterling crawled on his back and didn't let go. Yeah. People were saying that Jan got robbed. I don't think Jan got robbed. No, I don't think Jan got robbed. I think that was a proper decision. Yeah. Sterling's wrestling really
catapulted that decision over. Look at that ground time. The ground time was, and the first round, I don't think Jan did enough to be like, oh yeah, he definitely won that.
And Dillashaw's last fight was against Corey Sandhagen, who's I think is actually fighting this week.
Yeah, he's fight night this week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's fighting this week.
Yeah.
And that was a really good fight too.
Yeah.
So for Dillashaw to actually win that fight because Sandhagen is actually really good. I think Dillashaw can take this one. I would have thought Dillashaw needed to clean up the rust.
He's known for breaking streaks all over the UFC, and Sterling's on one now.
Yeah, and I think Dillashaw is going to take this one. Oh, yeah. I think he might. Yeah, I'm going to take back what I said. I think he's going to take this by unanimous decision.
Dillashaw?
Yeah.
I think it goes to decision.
Or
I don't think either knocks the other one out.
If Aljamain becomes a crybaby,
you think so?
Wins by knockout. I think Dillashaw wins by knockout if that happens. But I don't think this case is going to happen. I think this is a decision.
I also don't think we can count out Sterling by submission.
We can't. I think Sterling's going to try and get it to the ground.
No, for sure. I think so too.
But I think Dillashaw's good enough where he could stop that. I've seen Dillashaw compete for so long.
Yeah. And
the people that he's faced, it's crazy. The people that he's beat. Did he face Dominic Cruz yet? I think he did.
Check it out. But I gotta tell you, I feel like the UFC recently has been absolutely crazy.
I think they're making the right matchups.
Yeah, they are. I think this has to be one of the most anticipated fights right now, or like ever. Oliveira versus Makhachev.
Yeah. So, TJ Dillashaw, he actually lost to Dominic Cruz.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. I remember watching this. Cruz is a dog, bro. Cruz is a dog. Boxed him, outstruck him. That was actually a good fight. But he also faced Cody Garbrandt, who beat the crap out of Dominic Cruz, and TJ Dillashaw beat Cody Garbrandt.
Fighting doesn't have a science, bro. Like I hate when people try to be like, oh, this person beat this guy and he beat him.
It depends on
that. Doesn't matter.
It just depends on the fighter. Like if the fighter you could be the worst fighter in the world if it's the best fighter in the world. If that worst fighter lands a nice clean shot,
it's over.
It's over.
Always. The shift changes always.
That happened to Kamaru.
It happened to Kamaru Usman.
You
were so sad.
Been around. Yeah, I was so sad because I know Kamaru. And
dude, really?
Yeah. I don't like talk. Like, it's not like we talk every day or whatever. But like I know him as of like I see him like, hey, what's up? How are you?
Wow.
Because he used to train at the gym that I used to train at.
No, but I'm gonna be honest. I'm not gonna be like those LeBron videos coming out where he was like, oh yeah, he's always lying. He was always like, oh yeah, I called Kobe's 70-point game, 80-point game. And this isn't that kind of situation. No. I said before that Leon Edwards, I feel like is gonna pull the upset.
You did tell me.
I told you that. I said. I think Leon's pulling the upset. But I only thought that because, for me, Kamaru Usman is such a humble, nice fighter. He was being such a dick the entire time.
He was kind of being respectful. If you think about it. No. In some cases during the press conference, he was like, Leon's a dangerous guy. You got to watch for the kickboxing.
But I think he came in like thinking like he definitely was going to win. Like there was no way he loses, which I honestly didn't see a way of losing for Kamaru Usman.
Yeah, but I knew Kamaru. I think everyone knew what Kamaru's game plan was: take him down, hold him down. That was like a Stipe Miocic, Francis Ngannou, type of fight.
I couldn't believe when I saw that kick land. I was shocked.
I watched that kick live, and
me too.
Absolutely made me sad. I was like, that's something I didn't want to see, and for that to happen, it was like, damn. But it really does show you what the sport's all about.
Yeah. Anyone can win at any time.
Yeah, he had his rocky moment.
Yeah.
Hopefully Kamaru Usman can bounce back and take the title back. If not,
but do you think
Leon's a great champion? But then here comes Colby Covington.
Yeah. Do you think Leon Edwards gives Usman the immediate rematch, or he defends first?
I think he gives him the immediate rematch. That's a good question.
Yeah.
I think he gives him the rematch. If not, I hope they give Covington the title fight.
Yeah, I think Covington
deserves a title fight.
And as much as Covington is the most controversial fighter I think ever.
I like him.
I love him. I think he's so funny. But I think it's his best chance at becoming champ.
I do too.
Leon Edwards
he did have a very close fight with Kamaru too, which it could have gone either way. But I think Kobe would beat Edwards.
Me too.
But he's also kind of in the same situation that Kamaru's in.
Yeah.
Gets caught with one punch or a kick, it's over.
But I'll tell you this, the beef between what's his name?
Masvidal.
Leon Edwards and Masvidal.
Yeah.
Would you want to see that? But I'd rather see that.
I don't think Masvidal deserves it.
I don't think Masvidal deserves it. I'd want to see that fight if Leon Edwards loses the belt.
Yes.
I would want to see that fight then.
Yeah. Honestly, I think what Leon Edwards should do for Masvidal, now that he's champion, I think Leon Edwards should just ignore Masvidal.
Yeah, straight up. You're the champ now. You get to do. You run the division now.
Yeah. Well, I feel like once you become a champ, you're like a partner with the UFC, so it's easier to negotiate.
But I don't think Leon Edwards holds the belt for that long. I think Usman comes in the next.
It'd be cool to see.
It would be really cool to see.
It'd be cool to see.
I feel like we've seen the same people be champ for so long, and this was like a shocking moment.
It happens. It happens to the best. And, if Kamaru Usman can prove that he can beat him again,
which I think he will.
Then I think he will too.
I think that rematch.
I think that would put him on the number 1 pound for pound spot.
You think it takes him back up there?
Yep.
I
think he's still number 2.
No, he went down to 4. I think
Who
he
beats
went down
him?
to 4. Yeah, I'll tell you right now.
Pound for pound rankings.
Yeah, I think he's 4 right now. Yeah, I think right now it's Volk. Volkanovski's he's an animal.
Charles, he's not even number 4.
Is he? Where is he? Yeah, he's 4. He's 4, buddy.
No, on mine he's.
Whatever. But I personally think.
Figueroa. It's probably because he's not even champion.
Yeah, that's probably why he lost it.
Well, I don't know what you're using. I don't know what they use, but I'm on Fight Matrix.
Oh,
I don't know if that's like the official.
I'm on CBS right now, and they have.
Yeah, so for me, he's not even up there. I think I think he has Robert Whittaker beat.
No,
whoever this.
I think it's the same thing that happened like with Canelo. They lose one fight and they drop so many spots. I don't think it's like that. I don't think Usman's number 1, but I think.
Oh, here we go.
Top 3. I think
the rankings. Kamaru Usman's number 4. Okay, yeah, here. I'm on the UFC one.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, he's number 4.
All right. Now back to what we were saying before. Charles Oliveira, Islam Makhachev. The closest thing we're ever gonna get to Charles and Khabib. Who do you got? Charles Oliveira, Islam Makhachev.
I think I have Charles winning this one.
Dude, me too. I think Charles is my favorite fighter right now.
Charles Oliveira, I've doubted him so many times, but he's proven to be really good. And for this one, I'm set with him. I think he gets the job done, but by unanimous decision.
You think it goes?
By decision, not unanimous, but it could go either way, either split or unanimous. But I think it's by decision. I don't think Islam's wrestling is going to be enough. Charles Oliveira has really, really good grappling. So, hopefully, Charles gets the job done. I don't think Islam's striking is good. I don't think it is. I don't think it's going to be as good as Oliveira's.
Well, yeah, Charles Oliveira's one of the most.
If this goes to the ground, I don't think it'd be smart. I was saying before, Islam Makhachev striking, I don't think that's as good as
Charles Oliveira. I think is the most underrated striker.
He very much is.
It might not look the prettiest, but that boy has pop.
No, I think his striking game is very nice.
I think he has a lot of pop, but I feel like you look at Charles Oliveira, and you're so focused on his ground game that you forget the pop he has in the
That happened to Gaethje and
it happened to Chandler. It happened to Gaethje. It happened to Poirier. It happened to all of them.
Yeah.
Poirier
is a good fighter too.
I think Charles Oliveira is the only person I've ever seen lose every single first round I've ever watched.
Oh yeah, always. For real.
Why is he always going down?
I guess it's like a feeling out the first round sort of thing.
I feel like he does it like whenever he gets hit and he like drops to the ground.
He's fine with it.
I feel like it's like you're not gonna come down here, so I'm just gonna take a rest.
Yeah.
He's just taking a break.
And that's a mistake that most fighters make.
Nobody's willing. I think the reason this fight is gonna be Charles' most tough is because nobody's had the guts to go to the ground with Charles.
Except for Makhachev.
Islam Makhachev is gonna have that.
October 22nd. Wow.
And it's in Abu Dhabi.
Got a while.
It's in Makhachev's corner though. It's in his backyard. It's everything
Abu Dhabi?
is. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, we all wanted to see Charles fight this one in Brazil. I think he deserves a Brazil fight.
Yeah, he really does. I mean, if you want to do that, you put Conor McGregor versus Charles Oliveira.
I think Charles and Conor would be a great fight.
I think that would be a great fight.
I think
even
Charles.
In Brazil.
I think Charles messes him up, but Conor, I think it'd be a good.
Yeah, you know what?
Oh, here comes
McGregor's got some power.
Oh my God, you and your Conor McGregor.
Look,
dude.
Everyone doubts Conor McGregor because of his whatever loss streak, but I think McGregor's striking is top notch. I know Poirier beat him, but who knows what would have gone down that second fight with Poirier and McGregor.
I mean the fourth one, the one where he got injured.
Was that the third one?
That was the fourth. Was it?
No,
that was the third. My fault. Yeah, they wanted to have a fourth one.
If Conor and Oliveira were to face, it'd be tough because
I'm not saying he. Like,
I don't want to say that Charles would lose, but like the moment this happens at every fighter that Conor has faced.
Yeah, I can see that.
The striking and the power from that left hand.
It's insane. It is insane.
Is insane. That's all I'm going to say about that.
But Conor's looking a little big.
Yeah, I don't think he'll make 155.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a reason to go down to 155. I say you move up to 170 and make the Edwards versus McGregor, if anything, if Conor can prove himself.
Think so?
Yeah.
I think
that's an interesting matchup.
I would want to see. I mean, for a comeback fight for Conor, I could see. Man, I don't even know who I want to see him with. I heard the Charles Oliveira fight, and I was like,
I think that's too early.
I love Conor, and I don't want to see him go out like that.
I think that's way too early.
I think it's way too early.
I think for him.
Give him somebody good to fight first. Maybe have him fight.
The Michael Chandler fight's also an interesting fight.
Yeah, Michael Chandler would be good.
A Dustin Poirier fight with McGregor, number 4 would also be interesting. A trilogy with Diaz and McGregor.
I want to see the trilogy with Diaz. But if not, you know what could be good?
What?
Maybe him and Masvidal.
Oh.
Him and Masvidal.
I've heard about that a couple times.
I think they could go at it.
Because they both walk around 190.
They both walk around pretty heavy. They're around the same. So, yeah.
So now it'll be more interesting. But we'll see.
I would really want to see that. I would love to see them. The two for the BMF title.
Yeah.
Have them go at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that'd be really good. All right. Go up one more. UFC 281.
UFC 280. Who's even on that card?
UFC 281.
Adesanya, yeah.
All right.
Carla Esparza. She's a champ, right? No, she is. No. Yes.
Yeah. She is. She is currently champ.
Namajunas.
Yeah.
In a very boring fight.
It was so boring. I really did not enjoy watching that.
Dominic Reyes is on this card.
It's a good card.
Dan Hooker. I think this is the prelim. This might not even be the prelim.
All right, let's start off with Brad Riddle versus Renato Moicano. Who do you got? Who do you think has this? I don't know if you watched Renato Moicano's last fight.
I may have. I don't know too much on Renato. Brad Riddle. I've never really. Both are 155ers. I've never really seen Renato Moicano fight.
Renato, you're gonna know who this is after the last Dos Anjos fight. Renato Moicano was the one that went against him and somehow lasted the whole fight. He was getting battered and beat. I
think I know who you're talking about.
I started to respect him as a fighter so much after seeing that. But I think he's a very underrated fighter. I think he went every round getting battered and beat, and he just wasn't backing down.
16-5, 10-3.
Yeah.
Who's Brad Riddle? I've never heard of him.
Me neither. I don't know who that is, to be honest.
Just for the sake of me knowing who is who, I think Renato takes it.
Yeah.
I don't know by what. You also got Dan Hooker.
Claudio.
He's fighting at lightweight again. Smart move. I didn't like him at 145.
I don't think you ever count out Dan Hooker.
No, you can never.
That guy's always coming in. All right, now to the really interesting stuff.
Oh, you got Dominic Reyes in here too? Dominic Reyes takes that.
Yeah. Dustin Poirier, Michael Chandler. It's a long wait.
I really wish we could leave that to like a main event type thing. I don't think that shouldn't have been on this card.
I thought they were gonna headline in December.
I think they should have headlined somewhere else.
Hey man, let's wait for us.
Yeah.
Dustin Poirier,
but a fight like this is a really good fight to make, and I think most people forgot that you could make this fight until they started beefing.
Yeah. Number 2, number 5.
Yeah, I was thinking this fight before it even happened.
I think, but who do you got? Who do you have taken this one? Dustin Poirier, Michael Chandler.
I hear it all the time because I used to train with, Johnny Eblin, Bellator champ. He goes to ATT, and I used to train at ATT. I used to wrestle at ATT. I didn't do MMA, but I always hear that Dustin Poirier is like one of the hardest workers there, and his conditioning is unreal. But I like Michael Chandler. I really do.
Really?
I also like Dustin.
Yeah, me too.
Dustin's really good. You know, people always tend to count him out. And I wanted to see him win that title, the title.
I thought he was going to win the title.
I thought he was too.
I thought he was for sure winning. And then that's when I first really got introduced to Oliveira, that Poirier fight.
Really?
That's when I was first like, wow, this guy's
I think Michael Chandler takes this one by decision.
Really?
By split decision.
Michael Chandler?
I think this one's going to be a really, really, really close matchup.
I think
every round's going to be as close as possible.
Man, I really love these guys. I don't want to pick, but just for the sake of controversy, I'll go with Dustin Poirier to go against you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go Poirier.
I wouldn't be surprised if Dustin Poirier wins.
Me neither. I mean, is that Michael Chandler coming off that front kick knockout on Tony Ferguson?
That gives him a whole boost.
That was...
but DP's got a lot... Like, that fight motivates him. So he's got a lot of motivation behind him.
I don't think I was ever going to see Tony Ferguson get knocked out like that. I almost cried a little bit, to be honest, to watch him completely go out.
I was going crazy.
I was checking off, but it was crazy.
And my girlfriends, and it was crazy.
All right, Carla Esparza versus Zhang Weili. Champ takes it.
You think the champ takes it? I think Weili Zhang.
I think winner of this gets Rose again.
Well, Rose isn't even the champ.
Yeah, exactly. I know, but I'm saying whoever wins this, just give Rose the fight.
I think Rose needs one more shot at the title. Yeah. You know, after that boring fight, hopefully the next fight she can not be boring.
And I think this is the fight that we're going to have so much disagreement on.
Izzy Alex
versus Poatan. Go ahead, say Izzy. I know you want to say Izzy's going to win.
I do want to say Izzy. Alex Pereira just got a mean hook.
I got Alex.
It's so good.
I got Alex. And I love Izzy. You know I love Izzy.
I love Izzy too. I think, honestly, Israel Adesanya wins by decision.
His fights recently, though, so boring.
That's why I say by decision. I don't think he gets this by knockout.
I don't think Izzy's going to challenge it. I don't think he's going to go to fight. I think he's going to go with his calf kicks and all that. But I think I'm going to say Alex Pereira by knockout.
With the hook?
With the hook.
That's how he got clipped. That's how Adesanya... They've had 2 fights.
Yeah.
One fight, everyone had Israel Adesanya winning. But somehow Alex Pereira... This is what I hear. And somehow Alex Pereira won. It was a very controversial first fight. The second fight...
No, the first fight was a draw.
It was a draw, was it?
I think it was a draw.
And Alex Pereira, second fight, knocks him out with a mean hook.
And then his kid mocks... Have you seen that video?
No.
There's a video of Alex Pereira right after he knocked out Izzy.
Mm-hmm.
In front of Izzy, his kid stands and falls back pretending to be him. I think he just got knocked out. Yeah.
That's funny.
I think it's insane to see. They really ran him through the UFC.
They really did. I think they should have given him like a number 2 guy or 3.
No, but UFC.
They gave him Sean Strickland, who's a number 7.
Yeah. No,
but Sean Strickland is good. Don't get me wrong. But they should have given him a fight then, Israel Adesanya.
Yeah.
But
the same way I see Kobe to Usman, he's kind of like the gatekeeper. Like it's like you want to get to Kamaru, got to get through Covington.
I feel like we have.
I could have seen Pereira versus Whitaker.
I would have liked to see Pereira versus Whitaker. One would be a really interesting matchup.
Which one?
Khamzat Chimaev versus Pereira.
Because
this is a 185. This is a 185 pounder.
I don't think Khamzat hangs with the top dogs at 185.
You don't think? I would like to. I mean, like I said before, I think he needs to face Paulo Costa before anything.
I think. Yeah, I would like to see that. Costa's just, but he couldn't even knock out Rockhold, bro.
Yeah, I know. That's my only problem.
Couldn't, and Rockhold was literally like begging for the entire time just for it to be ended. But when I saw him retire, I was very sad.
I was sad. Luke Rockhold did hit him with a shot though.
Yeah,
he got him with one really good shot.
And it was just like I don't know, just came out.
Yeah, that's the thing about the UFC.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah.
But you gotta. I think one thing we gotta talk about. Paulo Costa has a chin. The guy's not going down.
He's an absolute animal. He's not human. I know, like you can hit someone and they bleed, but that man he's nuts.
You saw that Nate Diaz's fight with Ferguson was the first time he didn't get cut. It was like 20 something earlier. It's been like years. He didn't get cut that fight. It was like the first one in years. Yeah.
Wow.
It was so crazy to see. I think that's also how you see him. I hate saying it, but I'll say it again. El Kukui, I think is done.
Yeah.
I think he's done.
Yeah.
And I
liked
it.
El Kukui.
I want to see him win one more
I used
time.
to not like him.
Really?
And then he beat Kevin Lee, and I was like, all right, I like that.
Yeah. You like hopped on the bandwagon right after?
I hopped right on that bandwagon. And then he tried to call it Conor McGregor, and I was on that Conor McGregor
Man, I'll tell you this, though.
bandwagon.
I think it's so sad we never got to see Ferguson versus Khabib. It was supposed to happen.
That would have been a good matchup. You want to know what I think about like MMA fans?
What?
Some of them.
Well, here we go.
I think-
Controversial right now.
I think they're not like. I think they just want to see entertainment.
Yeah.
You know, they don't want to see those like the contender fights where you got the number 4 and the number 5. You know?
I get you.
I feel for me, I'd rather see actual competition than an entertainment fight.
Yeah, no. We're separate there. As much as I respect wrestling and I love it, I hate watching fights with two wrestlers. It gets so boring. There's certain moments where I love it and it gets really fun, but I love seeing the entertainment fights, at least in the UFC. So I guess you're talking about me. Yeah. My fault.
You're good.
No, I know what you're saying. I love seeing the competition fights.
But don't get me wrong. I will always be down to watch an entertainment fight.
Of course, anytime.
So yeah, I think.
So your final. I'm gonna give you one more chance to change your mind. You got Izzy over Poatan?
I think by decision. I don't
think
he'll get caught this time. I got the style bender.
I think Alex is gonna have to absolutely work on his stamina and just pressure Izzy the whole time to fight.
Yeah, we also haven't seen Pereira in a 5-round, 5-minute fight.
Yeah,
that's the thing. That's why I think they gave him this fight too early.
I think if we're looking at Alex, I love him. I just love seeing his story, how he just like followed. Like it's like the devil in Izzy's corner. Like Izzy like following him, like trailing behind him. I think Izzy didn't want this. Because remember how right after he won, Izzy was like, oh, I think he hasn't done enough. He's always saying Alex hasn't done enough.
Really?
But now we're going to see it happen.
I thought he called him out.
Nah, he told him after that he wants to see more or something like that.
Really?
But then after that, he was like, I'm always down to fight though. But I think the octagon experience is also very big and important.
You see it all the time.
Yeah. The octagon is a different animal than the cage. Not the cage, the ring. No. Where they used to kickbox. Yeah. But yeah, I think I got Alex. I got Alex. I'm sorry. I love seeing an underdog story. Is he really an underdog here? Yeah, he does. He's the odds right now. They have Alex at plus 140. But that's not that big of a difference. It isn't really.
I don't bet, so I don't know how that works.
You don't know how over-unders work?
No, I just watched, I've never really
paid
attention to bets or anything.
The favorite is under, minus.
Oh, okay. So,
because if you put $100...
So is the favorite's out of sign then?
Yeah.
Okay.
It is Izzy. All right, switch to sport now.
We're switching sports. He knows more about boxing than I do.
He's more MMA.
I'm more MMA.
Yeah, I'm more on the boxing side. So here we go. I want to start with the heavyweight division. So obviously we have Fury, we have Usyk, Ruiz, Joshua, Wilder. Well, Wilder's fighting Helenius now.
I don't even know who Helenius is. I just know these main guys: Fury, Usyk, Ruiz, Joshua, and Wilder.
Okay, we'll start with this. So they said that Ruiz and Ortiz was a semifinal eliminator, and I love Ruiz. I love his story. Joshua was an underdog story that came back. Mm-hmm. Whenever I'm sad, I watch that fight, and it makes me just a little bit happier.
Yeah.
And then but I don't think Ruiz hangs to the top dogs in the heavyweight division. Ruiz his defense is kind of not really there. I think, first of all, I look at Ruiz and I look at Fury, and I don't see them as people in the same division. Yeah. It's shocking, but Fury, I think Fury
would dismantle him.
Dismantles everybody in the heavyweight. I don't think anyone touches Fury. I think Usyk.
I would like to see Usyk versus.
I want to see Usyk versus Fury. It's probably his hardest fight, but I think Usyk's size is because he was a light heavyweight. He was fighting at cruiser at 190.
Really?
Yeah, he was fighting at cruiser and he
went up.
What is he now? He heavyweight. He went up.
Oh, okay.
And then Joshua, obviously, we all expected. When the fight first started, it was supposed to be Fury and Joshua, but then Wilder said that he wants his rematch, and we all know how that turned out. Respect to Wilder, though. Wilder's an animal. Yeah. Yep. I think Wilder beats Helenius, and then I think he beats Ruiz. I think that's how it's going to go. I don't...
Unless Because Wilder, I feel like his technique isn't the best.
He's not a technical fighter. He's straight up just
Ruiz has got some technique on him.
Yeah, he does. But I still think Wilder's right hand. Gotcha. Ruiz takes too many hits to go against Wilder. Because Wilder's like one punch and you're done.
Yeah,
you're not waking up.
I do agree.
Yeah, so I think it's going to be Wilder.
It would be nice to see Ruiz win, though.
I would love to see Ruiz win. I love Ruiz, but... Yeah, the guy he went up against, though, Ortiz, he trains with the guy that owns where I trained. He trains with Herman Caicedo. And my trainer trained with Herman too. And, so, like, I was going a little bit for Ortiz just out of, like, loyalty. But Ruiz had a good fight. And he looks a lot better. He looks more slim.
He does look a lot better. I think he's doing a lot for himself right now.
He really is.
And hopefully that could push him to be
always
one of the best.
For him, yeah. Ruiz always fighting top guys. But let's talk about Joshua versus Usyk, the second one. I don't know if you saw. Joshua had.
Didn't really saw. I heard that Usyk dominated the whole time.
I wouldn't say he dominated the whole time, but it was a lot better fight than the first one. I don't think Joshua was expecting Wilder to come out like that the first time, and his game plan was good. But Usyk, I think, in blatant terms, just a better fighter. Usyk is one of the best fighters I've seen, and he moves so good for a heavyweight. Moves really well.
He does. I saw them fight the first one.
Respect to Joshua, man. Did you see his? He had like a mental breakdown in the ring after he lost. He like threw the belts and he started talking crazy.
Who?
Joshua. After he lost, yeah.
Did he?
But
I didn't see that.
At the end of the day, mental health. We're about to get real sad and sappy. Mental health affects everyone, and Joshua
really does.
He just had a moment where, he kind of lost it for a second. But respect to him. He's supposed to fight. You saw him and Fury agree to terms.
Yeah.
I don't think Joshua beats Fury either, man. I don't think anyone beats Fury. I don't think anybody beats Fury.
I think Fury's just too good. Fury is that one of those stories where he's the mental health story.
Yeah. He came back from like drug addiction and everything.
Yeah.
And now he's the champ. But I really don't think I can't picture a world where Fury isn't champ of the heavyweight division. I think he runs it. He runs the heavyweight division.
Yeah. You think this will be Fury's last fight?
Him and Joshua?
Yeah.
I think he needs to fight Usyk. And then there's no doubt about him.
Yeah.
Because then, like, obviously he retires now.
I think all he does is just need to face Usyk and then...
Yeah. I don't think he needs to beat Joshua. Joshua's just a money fight.
Yeah.
But I think that we're finally seeing a good contender to go against Fury and Usyk. But I don't think Usyk does it either. As much as I love Usyk, I think he's a great fighter. But one thing is, Usyk is fighting from the Ukraine. He has that chip on his shoulder. Yeah. He's fighting for his country. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. I really don't see him winning. I don't see anyone beating Tyson Fury. His head movement is insane. His defense is insane. He moves like a lightweight and he's a heavyweight. It's like 6'7". It's insane. I don't think anyone touches him. But I think the best shot at someone beating him would be Usyk. But I don't think we're gonna see that fight anytime soon. But I think if he wants to retire in peace and nobody can tell him anything, he needs to fight Usyk. Has to do it. Yeah. All right.
On the next one, Canelo versus Triple G.
Trilogy. Third one.
The trilogy.
And
I did watch both. I watched it on YouTube. I didn't even watch it live. It was I think it was the first one that was controversial.
Yeah, the first one was a draw. The second one was Canelo.
Yeah.
And now we're going to see the third one.
Third one, I think Canelo takes it.
All right. Before I give my prediction, I'm going to say a few things. Bear with me. Triple G got robbed on the first one. I love Canelo Alvarez. I think he's an animal. I think he's one of the greatest to ever do it. Triple G got robbed. He got robbed. It was blatant. I think it was a close fight, obviously, but I think Triple G took it. They called it a draw. Good for them, man. That's fine. Second fight, I think was more of a draw than the first one. But I see why Canelo would win. It was obviously a close enough fight. It could go either way. Now the third one. Obviously, Triple G is 40 now. Canelo's coming off a loss, which was insane. I didn't think that would happen. I'm going to say it just for the sake of the boxing gods blessing him. Triple G.
Triple G.
Just for the sake of, he deserves that redemption.
Triple G's old, right?
He's 40.
40. That's crazy. 40 and you're still boxing. And you're still boxing really good.
Yeah.
Wow. That's what being in shape is all about.
Yeah. Triple G is Triple G just it starts his fight so slow and then picks it up. I think for this fight,
he needs to start off good. I think he needs to good.
Maybe not like start off good, but he needs to make it close.
Yeah. You can't, I hate it when boxers do this because I saw it with the Lomachenko fight and the what's that kid who does Teofimo, yeah. I saw that fight live and Lomachenko turned it up like towards the end of the rounds.
Lomachenko's my favorite fighter in the lightweight division, and I think
I love Lomachenko. I love the way how he moves, he punches.
But he
literally dances. He did.
Did you know that he injured his left hand in the fight?
Yeah.
So I think that's the only reason. I think
if they were to face again, Lomachenko wins. I don't think anyone can beat Lomachenko.
I don't think so either. I think what I read, or at least from what I saw, was that Haney's fighting Kambosos again, which I don't think Kambosos.
Who won that fight?
Haney. Haney's undisputed right now.
Haney beat Kambosos.
Yes. I think
I didn't know that happened. I was actually waiting for that to happen. I didn't even know that happened.
Are you serious?
Wow. Yeah.
It's a great podcast.
I need to watch
Such educated hosts. No, but for real, I wasn't expecting Kambosos to look as bad as he did. I don't think he looked bad, but Haney looked really, 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 really good.
Kambosos he's an entertaining fighter too.
He is an entertaining fighter, but he was always looking for that big shot. He wasn't looking to fight.
Yeah.
But I think in the rematch, same thing happens. Haney takes it, and I think Haney fights Lomachenko after. And I think Lomachenko takes back his belts. My personal opinion. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking at least. Back to it. Where were we? All right, yeah. So I think Lomachenko takes back his belts against Haney. Mm-hmm. But back to
against Haney, that's a great fight.
Yeah, against Haney, they're both very technical fighters.
Yeah. It'd be really Lomachenko, no one can beat him. I don't even think Ryan Garcia beats him. And Ryan Garcia is a lightweight, right?
Talking about Ryan Garcia, like if Ryan Garcia.
No, I don't think Ryan Garcia can hang with Lomachenko.
I don't think Ryan Garcia hangs with a lot of people, but I want to see him fight Tank.
I want to see him fight Tank. I want to see him fight Haney. Just see if he can.
I think he has a lot to prove.
With them.
I think that
he does.
Yeah, he took a long time.
He's young.
Off. He's really young. Yeah, of course.
He did take a lot of time off. And we're going off topic by talking about Ryan Garcia.
No, you're good.
He did beat Luke Campbell.
Yeah,
that was his name. And that was very impressive.
That liver shot was crazy.
Yeah, he went from getting knocked down in the second.
It showed he had heart and he can come back always. But the same shot that Luke Campbell knocked him down with, if Tank lands that shot, he's not getting up. And I think the issue with both of them, if they were to fight Ryan Garcia and Tank Davis, I love Ryan, but I think Tank takes it simply because of Ryan's lack of defense. Even though in his last fight, Ryan's defense got a lot better, and he's so fast. His punches are so quick. But Tank, I think, right now has it, unless I see some sort of change in defense from Ryan.
Yeah. You could also think about it if Ryan hits him with one good punch.
Yeah, it's both. They both can knock him down with one punch.
But you also did see in Ryan's last fight, the guy was getting up.
Yeah, he was. But I don't think he landed.
Which questions the power a little bit.
I don't think he can question Ryan's power. I think it more goes to show. I don't think because he never clipped him with like a good enough shot that like he would have gone to sleep. But I don't know. I think it's one of those fights where it's one punch makes a difference. I don't think it goes to decision at all.
I don't think it does either.
That fight doesn't touch decision.
Honestly, if Ryan Garcia catches Tank with a check hook, it's over.
They both could land one shot and it's over. We saw what Tank did to Rolly. He didn't even punch him hard. He just placed it perfectly right there with the left. But yeah, I think it's time. This is a message to all lightweight fighters right here from me, because I'm so important. You guys need to start fighting each other. We're sick of seeing a bunch of you guys fighting some randos. No, we want to see the top dogs in the division go at it. And I think it's time for lightweight is such an entertaining division with so many top fighters, and they never fight. Well, speaking of top fighters going at it, Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford today agreed to terms. I know you may not know 100% on it.
I know a little bit about Terrence Crawford. I do.
I think. Oh, then I'll speak on it. I'll just keep it light real quick.
Yeah, keep it.
If they were to fight Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford, I love Errol Spence. I think Errol Spence takes it. And they're 1-2 in the division. So, it doesn't get better than that.
Right.
1, 2 going at it. But I want to say Errol Spence. I love Errol Spence. I think he's such a good fighter. And I think the southpaw technique is going to help him. But, never count out T-Bud. So that's going to be a good fight to watch. And obviously to keep an eye out for the location, date, and stuff. And we'll update you here. And then, now the most controversial thing we'll probably talk about, social media and boxers.
Social media,
boxing. We're going to talk about them. It's big. We're going to keep talking about them. And as much as you want to say, it's not real fighting, they're fighting.
It really is. They're making the boxing world better.
Yeah.
They really are.
I think they are too. They're putting a lot of eyes on it. Obviously, it's really controversial simply because there's social media. Mm-hmm. But honestly, anybody with the courage to step in a ring or an octagon or cage or anything has balls. Really balls to do it, man. All right, so let's talk first. Let's talk about recently we saw the KSI event.
Yep. We also did see the Austin versus Gibb.
Yeah.
We'll talk about the KSI event first. That card. It was a good card. There was one questionable fight of what's the guy's name?
It was
Face Sensei
versus King Kenny.
Kenny.
Sensei got robbed hard. And this is the second time. King Kenny, his last fight, they said he won. And then they appealed it, and he ended up losing again anyway.
Right. I don't think they're appealing it.
You don't think so? They're not?
I don't think so.
I think he should.
I think he should too, but I don't think he is. I don't think he wants to go through that whole process.
But he knows. Everybody knows who won. Everybody knows for sure. But, all right, let's go through the card. Let's see if we can find a quick picture of it. Full on the card, Luis Pineda. All right, let's start with the lowest one. Which one starts?
This fight was in order, but I guess we'll start off of how this card says. We got Deji versus Fuzi.
Man, Deji came on with a chip on his shoulder.
He really did, and he looked amazing. Man. He looked so good. I think he looked better.
He's supposed to fight Floyd now.
I saw that yesterday. I was like, "Are you really kidding
me?" That's not true.
Are you kidding me?
That can't be true.
Deji looked amazing. I think he looked better than KSI.
Me too.
We got to see a lot from Deji that fight, and we got to see the courage and the heart from him.
I saw it this way. Remember when Deji was gonna fight Vinny Hacker? Deji said that Slim's an easy fight and that Fuzi's an easy fight, and he proved Fuzi's an easy fight. He made him look silly. But respect Fuzi for getting his life back on track, getting clean, getting him some respect.
Fuzi does look good.
Yeah, he does look really good. But I don't think Deji wants to face Slim. Slim looks really good. Slim went against Face Temper. And he knocked him cold.
I still think Slim isn't that good.
Really?
I think he didn't impress me. It was still sloppy, and I think
that's what makes him good.
I think Slim.
I think his defense is so good.
Slim's defense?
Yes.
I don't remember Slim's defense.
It's just his head movement. His reaction time is insane. I think Slim was what impressed me most about that card.
Really? I think Deji. I think that was Deji for me.
I think it was Slim.
Nothing impressive from Slim. I think I saw what I saw in his last fight. Just a bunch of sloppiness. I think he got hit. I think what he was doing in the fight was good. But if we were to put him against KSI, I think KSI would take that fight.
I think Slim takes that fight.
Aren't they two different weights?
No, I think they can both think the same weight. I'll tell you this though. The people that impressed me a lot too, Saul Poppy, you saw that?
Saul Poppy
looked real good.
I would, him versus Deji would be a good fight.
It could be a good fight. And then Dean the Great also looked really good.
Dean the Great, oh yes. I forget that Dean the Great is.
Yep.
He's like a thing.
Yeah.
Didn't what's it called? Happy Punch sign him?
Yeah, I think so. They did. Happy Punch went undefeated. They lost one fight, I think.
Which fight was that?
I don't even remember, but I think they lost one fight. But Saul Poppy looked really good. Dean the Great looked good until that backflip. I don't know what happened there. You saw that?
Yeah, that was hilarious.
But I think the man we're all trying to get to already, KSI, 2 fights in one night, very respectful.
I respect that he did that, but it was against two people who were really bad. But he also didn't have any other option.
Well, Jake Paul gave him a 1 week.
He did, but if you already have that contract...
Yeah, he had the contract. I understand.
What are you going to do?
But I don't think people that love KSI, I think you're oblivious to be like, oh, he fought 2 people in one night, so it was great. He basically had a sparring match, 3 rounds, for 2 minutes. and they were like 3 hours apart. I think it's harder to just have one 6-round fight.
Yeah.
I think at Luis Pineda, dog, really, really disappointed the Hispanic community out there, man.
Luis Pineda doesn't even deserve to be a boxer. He's not even that good.
I want to let everyone here know, to be a pro boxer, you don't have to be good. You just have to get a commission to say, hey, it's a pro fight.
Yeah.
You don't have to be that good.
You see that all the time.
Yeah.
People who don't deserve to be pro boxers.
Yeah. We could wake up tomorrow, get a commission to sign, and we're pro boxers.
I actually do think you need 5 amateur fights.
Oh, do you need 5?
It's the same thing with
Let's do 5 amateur fights, and then we can be pro boxers.
That's like the easiest thing to do.
Actually, I don't think so. Because look at all these guys. KSI hasn't had 5 amateur fights.
No, it's because he's famous.
Oh, that's different, I guess.
Having fame and money is...
It's a powerful thing.
Man. It's a very powerful thing.
Well, yeah, of course. But I think, man, I don't know how the rapper looked better than the boxer. I don't understand it. KSI. I want to see him fight next. I want to see him fight.
I want to see him either fight Slim
or Tyron Woodley.
Tyron Woodley, I did see that this morning.
Yeah. I think Woodley beats KSI.
I think Woodley does beat KSI.
I think for KSI to fight Jake Paul, he needs to fight Woodley first. We need to see, just to see where their level's at. And people forget this. KSI's been boxing longer than Jake Paul has.
Very true. Jake just is so much better.
Jake is just, I think, so much better. I think KSI looked so good.
I didn't think KSI... Yeah, he looked good in the drills, but this happens every time with KSI. As soon as he steps in the ring, he's sloppy.
It's just so sloppy.
He got caught with a punch from Luis Pineda.
Did he really?
Yeah, and I think he did get one caught from Swarms too.
I think he's just a sloppy fighter. But respect to KSI, man. He does a lot.
I think he does a lot. I have no disrespect towards KSI. I think he's a great fighter, a great rapper, great YouTuber.
Yeah. Great content creator. This was probably one of the best social media events I've seen.
Yeah,
a lot of knockouts,
and it was put together
pretty last minute.
Really well.
Yeah.
I really wish he would have faced Wasabi.
Me too.
I think if Alex Wasabi, I'm gonna switch it real quick. I think if Alex Wasabi would have faced Deji now, Deji beats the crap out of him.
Me too. But I think there was a video of Alex Wasabi sparring, and he looked so much better for this fight. I think he looks so good.
I feel like that would have been like YouTube Fighter of the Year. They should have like awards for YouTube.
Yeah, they really should. I think they should. It'd be really good.
But honestly, I don't think they should, because there would be so many fights happening because everyone's going to
Those fights are honestly fun to watch, but to be honest, I don't like seeing the fights of the people that are learning to box within a month, because it's boring to watch.
That's what happened with the TikTok versus YouTubers, right? Yeah. It's terrible.
That was actually not a terrible card, but it wasn't that good. But the worst...
I really thought Taylor Holder was going to beat Gibb. I really did.
Taylor Holder is a very good fighter, man.
And
then he just didn't throw punches. The limelight came up.
As soon as he sees a crowd...
Yeah, he's froze.
He's frozen. That's the one thing I hate that happens to everyone.
Yeah, he just froze.
But, it's a part of fighting. It's a part of life.
Yeah. But I think he should step in the ring.
Hopefully we could see Taylor Holder again.
Yeah. And now I want to talk about... sorry to cut you off, but...
No, you're all good.
The worst YouTube card in the history of cards I think I've ever seen. Austin versus Gibb.
I only saw that last fight. I didn't see anything else on it.
Well, first of all, it was kind of funny to watch. I didn't think it was good. They sold 10 tickets.
Really?
It was so empty. They sold
I did see it was empty.
200 tickets maybe.
I
think Austin got brutally humbled. I don't know how you talk that much and then get knocked down 4 times and then get knocked out.
Austin was looking good too.
He was, but Gibb came out of nowhere, man. Respect to Gibb.
Gibb's got the most heart.
He does.
I think Jake Paul even said he'd face him.
Yeah, he said he'd face him.
In a rematch. You just have to prove a little more. Gibb looked really good. I think you should give him the KSI, but I don't think KSI would do that.
I think they're boys.
They are boys.
But it would be a good fight. I'd like to see him Gibb. But that card was just an atrocity, man. And somehow, because you remember how it got rescheduled? It was supposed to be in August.
Yeah.
He moved it to a bigger arena. It was in a smaller arena, and then he moved it to a bigger one, which made it look even more empty. That turned off the lights, so it wouldn't look that full, that empty. I mean. Yeah. But
so
man,
they just needed to accept that they're not main event people.
Yeah, they're not. I mean, we saw it firsthand. Austin McBroom and Social Gloves are just not that main event type of people, and they're not gonna. I don't think they're gonna be, especially after that. Honestly, McBroom would have stepped in the ring with KSI. He would have gotten murdered.
Yeah.
But Gibb versus Gibb has a good fight, I think. If they weren't friends, they would definitely be fighting, but we'll see how that goes. And the man of the hour. You love him. I love him.
He's good. You can't discredit him. He's a great fighter.
Jake Paul. Dude.
Jake Paul.
I'm gonna go through a list. Remember my PowerPoint in class?
Oh my God. Yeah. So story time. You tell
so basically, we met in this class, public speaking, in our college class, and we had to write. We had to do a PowerPoint and present a speech.
Informative, was it?
It was it was informative.
Or no, it was a persuasive one.
It was a persuasive one, and I made one about why Jake Paul's a real boxer.
Yeah.
And it was received very well. So I just want to say this: we look at his opponents, Nate Robinson. At that point, he was just starting off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Jake Paul versus Nate Robinson. I think that's probably his worst fight. But Nate Robinson would beat Swarms and Luis Pineda.
Yeah, he would.
He really would. He would have been a better fight for...
Wait, you think that was Jake Paul's worst fight, Nate Robinson?
I think, yeah.
I think his worst fight was...
Like, I'm saying like opponent, like his worst opponent.
Oh, worst opponent?
Yeah.
Yeah, Nate Robinson. Okay.
Yeah. But I think, and then right after was Anisson Gibb.
Gibb.
Yeah,
Askren,
Gibb.
Woodley.
Yeah. No,
one,
whooped Gibb. Askren, though, I'll tell you this. People were saying, oh, Jake was...
No, I think it was Gibb, then Robinson.
No, yeah, it was Gibb and then Robinson, yeah.
Wait, then why is it saying?
I don't know. Oh, look, it's January and then November.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, yeah, Gibb was first and then Nate Robinson.
Yeah.
I think at that time it was a step up because Gibb wasn't looking that good at that time. Now I would say it's a step down. But at the time, Nate Robinson did look better than Anisson Gibb. From what we had seen from Anisson Gibb.
Yeah.
And then
Ben Askren.
Ben Askren, he's a wrestler. I understand it. So was Jake Paul.
Jake Paul was a wrestler.
Was a wrestler. So I don't know why it was such an issue.
Not in college. In high
that he fought a wrestler because he was a wrestler too.
Yeah.
And
Ben Askren is a very high elite leveled wrestler. Trust me, I wrestled. I hear about him all the time. And he's funky. He really is. He's funky. He knows how to scramble. He knows how to do his thing in wrestling. He did face Jordan Burroughs. I don't think you know who Jordan Burroughs is. Got his ass whipped by Jordan Burroughs. But Ben Askren, I didn't think Ben Askren was winning that fight either way. I think he was just too old. And he should have stayed retired.
Yeah, Ben Askren, I think was...
His wrestling will always forever be good. Everyone will always remember.
But his striking was weak. But, I mean, he has been training striking longer than Jake Paul ever has. So I don't think it was bad for Jake. True. And then we move on to, obviously...
Tyron Woodley.
Before that fight happened, it was Tyron Woodley's the man that's going to beat Jake Paul. And he loses to him twice.
I called it twice. Jake Paul's going to win.
I always thought Jake Paul was going to win. It
doesn't matter by what. I knew Jake Paul was going to win.
I always said it.
But Tyron Woodley, he used to be so good until his fight with Kamaru Usman. Chokes up, hasn't been the same since.
Yep.
He doesn't know how to deal with the crowd. Doesn't let his punches go. If Tyron Woodley could just let his punches go, he would still be good.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it has to do with age or just a mentality, but... Jake Paul did his thing, and he proved himself.
Jake Paul, I think that fight proved that Jake Paul, in some way, somehow, has hands.
Yep.
And as he knocked him out real bad. I think what people don't understand
I remember walking past. I was watching a movie, and I walked past like some sort of bar, and I was watching the fight, and I was watching it, and I walked back to the car because it was like late. And I go on my phone. As soon as I get in the car, I go on my phone. I'm like, holy crap. You see a bunch of knockouts of Jake Paul knocking out Tyron.
I think people don't understand how hard it is to knock someone out.
It is very hard to knock someone out.
So hard.
I've only knocked someone out once.
You've knocked someone? Really?
Not really like knockout. I was in
sparring
when I was boxing. And it was my first time sparring too. And the guy's like, oh, we're going to go light. People just don't understand how to go light. And this first shot he hit me with was like a hard jab, and then I was like, okay, we're going hard.
Yeah.
So we both started to go hard, and he did hit me with a good cross. He landed pretty well, but my stamina just took over.
Yeah.
It was literally the end of the first round. I was beating him. I already knocked him down. It took me 2 rounds to knock him down. It was with the liver shot. It wasn't even with the head shot.
Yeah, with the liver.
Yeah, and I forget. Yeah. It's really hard to knock someone out. I don't know where I was going with that, but.
Yeah,
I remember I hit him in the head a bunch of times, and he did have headgear on. But still and hard. even when I spar today
I spar people and it's so hard.
When I spar today in MMA, I get hit with some powerful punches, and it's never really enough to just knock me out.
Yeah, I've come out bleeding from sparring, and I don't get knocked. I've never been knocked down.
Maybe you should put your We should put your
if we figure out how to do it, we'll put the photo.
Yeah.
But and I think now, Paul versus Silva, Anderson Silva. Obviously, he was supposed to fight Tommy Fury, Hasim Rahman. I think we saw in the spar with Hasim, he beat Hasim in a spar. You don't really beat anyone in a spar, but Jake landed more, I think.
Jake did land more.
Yeah,
but I didn't really see Hasim using one hand.
Yeah, he used both. I don't know what that was about too. But whatever, moving on from those two. Paul versus Silva. This is 100%.
This is a battle. This is a war. It's really what it is.
Mm-hmm.
You got Anderson Silva, one of the greatest UFC fighters to ever live.
Yes,
he was also used to box too, and a great boxer. And if you see his UFC highlights,
he's a big boxer.
He can move his head.
He boxed before the UFC.
Yeah, and he can strike really well. Jake Paul is just young and he's got power, and he's been also training for so long.
But the one issue I think with Silva, obviously, the guy is 47 now, 46, 47.
Old. He's really
he's old.
But he still got it.
He just beat Julio Cesar Chavez, man.
Yeah, and he knocked out Tito Ortiz.
The guy can box. He's
47, but I feel like he'll always have it. He'll be one of those grandpas that can still move and stuff.
And I think we're seeing a good side of Jake, where he respects his fighter a lot.
Yeah, this is something very rare. I feel like he'll gain a little more from this. I feel like if he loses, he's not going to lose that much.
Yeah, I don't think you can discredit him that much either.
Yeah.
I think Anderson Silva is a fight that a lot of people wouldn't take. People said he wouldn't take it. He took it. Respect for that. Jake Paul, man, we haven't seen him fight in a year. He could have improved so much from what we last seen.
I think he did improve.
I think
if I'm going to assume it,
yeah,
I think he did.
No, yeah, for sure. No, yeah, I agree.
But honestly, I think Anderson Silva will take this one.
You think? Man,
I know I keep saying everything by decision, but I think that one takes decision.
I think
but
I love Jake Paul
if Jake can land a hard right hand, if he could land a hard right hand, I think it's over.
I think Anderson Silva starts, doing his little showboat thing a little bit, and Jake catches him. I think Jake by TKO, but if Jake isn't by TKO, then Silva by decision. But I want to see Jake win, man. I think if Jake wins, you gotta credit him.
The only way how Jake gets knocked out is if you remember what Anderson Silva did to Forrest Griffin.
Possibly, yeah.
Here, let me show you.
But I think we need to. People are saying that he's not fighting a pro boxer. Anderson Silva is currently a pro boxer. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Do you remember where?
Oh yeah, I have seen that.
Yeah.
Yeah, where he dodged the leg kick. He's a pimp.
I won't play it out loud because of copyright reasons.
Yeah.
But honestly, if Anderson Silva does something like that, I think Jake Paul will get knocked out. But
I think
it'd be nice to see Jake Paul win though.
Yeah, it would be.
I'm not discrediting Jake Paul or anything. I do like Jake Paul.
I think it's a very even fight for both of them. But I think from here, Jake has to. I don't want to see him fight Nate Diaz.
I would like to see him fight Nate Diaz.
I want to see him fight a pro boxer first.
I do want to see him fight another pro boxer other than Tommy Fury.
I've always wanted to see the Fury fight though.
I don't want to see it. I really
feel like
don't.
Fury has fumbled that bag too many times.
Exactly. That's why I don't want to see it. I was fine with it the first and the second time, but the third time, just no.
Yeah.
Yes, you can say that Anderson Silva is a pro boxer.
Yes, he is. He is a pro boxer.
With a positive who else record. Would he face? Who would Jake Paul face? That's a really good striker or a pro boxer. Who do you think? Other than Tommy Fury.
Man, I think I would need to see where his level's at with this fight to be able to say. We need to see how good he's gotten and from there decide. But I do think that if Jake Paul loses, he goes back to Tommy Fury. Just to build up that hype again.
I think he either faces Tommy Fury or faces KSI.
Yeah, but I don't think KSI beats him at all. I think they're both very good. They're both, I think Jake Paul's a lot better, but I think it'd be a good fight for both of them. Obviously, sloppy fighter versus a technical fighter. Those are always interesting. Anything can happen. They both have power. So, yeah. I think anything can happen. At the end of the day, combat sports, anything can happen.
Anything. We saw it. Like I said before, we've seen it a bunch of times. We've seen it with Kamaru Usman versus Leon Edwards. I've seen it,
Yeah. So yeah, I think that concludes.
That concludes the podcast for today. We will catch y'all next week. Thank you. I know we're new. Fight Talk Central.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, if you guys see our videos, our first video, leave comments, leave
questions,
anything, likes.
Improvement tips.
Anything we could put on our podcast, obviously. We can answer questions.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us, guys. Peace out.
Adios.